you. Gift number 2, Jurni Roco.
My name is Jurni Roco. A couple things you should know about me before I start. I'm a teacher. I create opportunities for people to grow. Second thing, I'm a dancer. I experience everything, life, the universe through my body. Through my body first, and everything else later. Ever since I was little, I experienced through my body. And my body was telling me that it was more comfortable, more pleasant to be around girls. That I loved playing with girls. That I felt myself also a girl. But, well, I had teachers, and they guided me into playing with the boys. Teachers were really important in my life because when I grew up without my parents. The teachers were my parents, and I respected them deeply, and I still do. And they were guiding me away from what felt nice, from what my body felt like was comfortable, was there. And sometimes it would work out, but oftentimes, the boys would kind of get mad at me, and I would kind of just get frustrated at them, and I would run off alone. And this went on for a long time. And later, as I grew into a teenager, my body wanted to go into ballet, and I took ballet lessons. And I loved to sew. My mom bought me a sewing machine. But as I grew into a teen, I learned that that wasn't appropriate for a teenage boy. So I gave up ballet for basketball and my sewing machine for, sports. And I tried really hard to make that work because I didn't want to be an aberration. I wanted to be normal. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to fit in with everyone else. And so I tried. And then I grew into a man. That was an interesting experience. You know what the expectations are of being a man in this society? Getting married, having kids, getting a job, supporting someone, buying a house. And I went on that path, I had a few escapes, but then I always brought myself back, and my mind was telling me this is how it should be, despite what my body was saying. My body was saying no, 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 no. And then my body, it got tired of saying no, and it started dying. Little by little, every day, it started to disappear. Until one day it was just a wisp of smoke. And then my mind started realizing that it couldn't survive without the body. And it started listening. Those were really hard times. I wouldn't know whether I would wake up maybe underground, or whether I would survive another day and just try to make it through. But finally my mind listened, and through another great teacher, I learned that I was transgender, that this was something that was part of the world, that this is something that existed. I didn't know anything about it back then. And so I was guided and helped to bring myself more fully, to bring myself in aligned with my body. And that kind of worked, but, at first I had that freedom, it was great, I could finally be aligned with who I was. But there was all this past of me being raised as a boy, me being raised into a man, that was sort of contradictory, and I fought back and forth between those. It was during this time that I picked up dance again. I started doing ballet again, and I started dancing partner dances. But I would only follow. I would never lead, unless I was forced to. because, I mean, I wanted to be a girl. I didn't want to be associated. I wouldn't even look at myself as a boy. That was hard. I would have these queasy moments when I could feel my mind and my body fighting each other, whether to suppress this boy emotions that were coming up, to be more feminine. But there was some resolution. I found a really wonderful dance teacher. I spend a week with her every year, and she teaches me some great things. On the last day of our week, she led me into things that were just amazing and scared me. They made me feel really queasy inside when she would lead me. I wouldn't know what I was doing. I wouldn't know what my legs were doing. And I'd kind of lean back. And she said, "What are you doing?" And she guided me. She felt that urge to just pull away, that discomfort in my stomach. And she said, "When you feel that, lean inward." And she gave me exercises. She brought me back into that moment and then pushed me forward so I could do it on my own. And then we danced. The rest of that day was amazing. The rest of that day I followed everything that she led. I was amazed. After that, I was working with advanced dancers, and they too led me things I'd never done before. And all I had to do was remember to lean inward. But there were other parts of my life that also, this inside felt very queasy. That separation between male and female. And I suddenly thought, why don't I apply this to my life? What would happen if instead of pulling away from being male, I brought it in? I leaned into it. I embraced it and let it become part of me instead of something that was separate. Oh, that's when life really started. That's when I discovered I had superpowers. Most instructors, they dance one part really well and the other part so-so. I started leading and found out that, I could lead just as well as I could follow. So when I teach, I can teach men, I can teach women, and I can be equally good at teaching them both. That's in dance, in teaching, in bringing opportunities to grow to people. And by teaching, I mean it very broadly. I want to bring everyone to a higher level, anyone I meet, whether in a class or one-to-one. I could connect with women and with men and guide them into new areas of growth that amazed me. It just really amazed me sometimes, the depth that we could go. Another superpower. When I walked into a room, I didn't know anybody there. I'd look around and suddenly, I'd see a couple of people who maybe feel a little bit uneasy about me because, I wasn't quite man, I wasn't quite woman, and I created an opportunity for them to grow, for them to open up their minds a little bit. And when that happens, when we have our minds opening up in one area, it has a tendency to connect the dots in other areas, to open up in other places. I give them that opportunity to grow. And some people will be that way and they'll leave. They had the opportunity and they failed. And some people will feel that opportunity and will allow it to sit, will maybe even lean in and explore it a little bit. And they may pass. The ones who fail, that's okay. They'll have another opportunity to grow. So, my message for you, when you feel that uncertainty inside, when you feel yourself experiencing something that makes you want to run away, that wall of fear that Megan suggested, lean into it. Explore it. Let it become part of you. Let it expand you. It's your opportunity to grow. My name is Jurni. I'm a dancer. I experience my life through my body. And I hope I've given you a little bit of experiencing your life through your body. I'm a teacher. I give people the opportunity to grow. And I hope I've done the same. Thank you.